Tech sales interviews are no joke. Here's some stories of how it's been for me so far. I'm Tom Jackson with Cultivating Media, and this is 7 Day Scoop Show, a weekly show where I document my career and decisions that I'm making. You have ventures trying to pursue. I use my stories, my ventures to motivate and teach you. So basically, been on the job hunt since February. Been trying to get into a tech sales position, AI, data, SaaS, something along those lines. And I've gotten about, including the ones I've had, I'm gonna tell you about right now, I've gotten 8 second round interviews, but I couldn't figure out why I wasn't getting these interviews or I wasn't getting past the next stage. And I really learned over these past couple ones. So background, different sales things, had an agency, did a lot of sales in person. I had to tweak the way I phrase things in my resume so that it just fit more to the position. So, cold calling is one thing, but if you're doing like face-to-face sales, framing it as some kind of like outreach, same numbers, same format, but just so it fills through everyone's AI system, I had to do that just to make it through. Anyway, first company I was talking to, I was going to do a position that would involve me. It was more like consultative sales, so like it wasn't like a volume, it wasn't like a 1 out of 10, it wasn't like a 1 out of 100 kind of thing. It was more like these are the set people we're going to talk to coming inbound, and then you got to walk them through the steps to do the sale. It was more consultative, and it was more consultative, almost like project management. And I didn't know that going into it because like I read it, but like I couldn't really understand it because it just wasn't in my normal realm of things. So I was like, hey, give it a shot. Anyway, long story short, we're in the interview, first round interview. We did I had to take 3 assessments, a test, a math test, like all types of shit before I even met anybody. Anyway, we're on the interview, we're going through it, she's reading through my resume, and she's like, oh yeah, so looks like you got this. And she's like, oh, looks like you're very good at this right here. Your process with this is pretty good. How do you do that? And I was explaining things like through like the outbound lens, and she was like, oh, well, this is more like product management. And she's like, how's your skills on that? And I was like, I don't really think this is the right position. And she's like, yeah, but it says you're good at this. And I was like, yeah, but that's not like, it's not the best one for me. And she's like, so it's just on here? And I was kind of like, the gig is up. So we ended up talking, and she said, thank you for your time, blah, 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 and, got denied. With that, it just gave me another perspective of like making sure how I phrase things on my resume fits the narrative I can actually say, or learn how to do the things, like get a course in HubSpot or one of the other ones to get a little better at that. But it was definitely like a oh shit kind of moment. But I am making adjustments for it. Now these other two, these ones actually hurt a little bit more because one of the companies I applied for was a data company, and I had a live pitch that I was going to do. So this one I had this week, or last week, because when I dropped this one's like a fresh one. So I understood this was like one of the best academies for, if you got to get into tech sales, they encourage you to come in new, they walk you through the steps, you just got to get in the door. And I got through interview 1, phone call, no problem. Interview 2, they have like a middle one when you go through an interview with the actual hiring manager, but it's not like an official one. You just like talk and they fill you out culture wise. So I made that one. Then I was going to interview him for the real second round interview. The problem was that my initial format and strategy was like speed, like, get it back right there, next one. But this interview was like an hour-long interview, and you had to learn the terms. So they tested you on like actual terms that like were in a thing, like what's a database, SaaS versus ISaaS versus it's infrastructure, software infrastructure, and what's the other one? Platform. But yeah, like it was a lot of terms that like I didn't have the full understanding. It's just like I had to learn things I never knew. Like these are just completely out of my world. And it was okay because they told you what to look up and read it, and you had to pitch it. You had to do a practice pitch on it as well, so you had to role play on it. And the problem is I did the interview on Tuesday and had a whole 4 interviews on Wednesday, and then I had the second interview for that company on Thursday. So I only gave myself a day in between, And I underestimated how much work it was going to take to get ready for that at the level that I needed to perform it. So I tried staying up all night to get done Wednesday so I could be ready for Thursday, and it just didn't work. It was just too much for my brain to take in that time period, which like it is what it is. So I get there, I'm pitching these, asking these questions. I'm like, so like I knew enough to know how wrong I was, like how fucked up I was, which is crazy. It was the first time I was like, oh yeah, I know enough to know like I don't sound like I know what I'm talking about. Like the terms I should be using, the metaphors that I'm using, my pace, it just feels like this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Then we get to the sales part. I had a pitch set up, but I was so flustered with everything else I was doing. I was just like, So, I mean, I got my rejection letter today, which is cool. Like, it's part of the game. But it was good because I was like, oh wow, this is like the next standard of like what it's gonna take. And I had another interview today that I went through what the pitch was, but it's another one that the pitch was just like, it was enough, but I only gave myself a day between, like I had the interview one day and then I had this interview, recording this today. So I gave myself a day to do practice another pitch for another company. And it's like, I realize now if I'm gonna do something that requires a pitch, I'm gonna need at least 3 days of like just completely going through it and practicing all the way through. That like makes sense, but I just didn't do that beforehand. So it's okay. I understand what that gap's gonna be like. Good news is I did get an offer for another company. Wasn't in tech sales, it was a remote job though, doing like some like customer service phone calls, so that was cool. Pending there, so you know, got an offer already. I have another company, I have some other companies I have a second round interview for and a third round interview for next week or the time of releasing this same week. But the one thing that I will say is that on this spectrum of what I've learned so far, it's doing this, is that especially with the sales kind of thing, like obviously the sales part is the biggest part of how you do the pitch, but the amount of time and the amount of understanding of homework I should be doing beforehand for the interviews coming in cold. Like I gotta really, to get into one of these positions, even if they're gonna train you at a level, I have to have enough of a foundational level of what they actually do in the industry at a level that like I'm already talking to them like I've been there before. Which I guess it makes sense, but it wasn't until I was in the position for this company that I was like, oh shit, like, especially in data, it's like, dog, like, fuck, this is so much. Like, they were explaining what a database, it was like, dog, like, oh shit. Now it's like, all right, cool. Do you want to even pursue this path if that's it? And now I think the strategy for me now has been, I can either, I'll still go for like the B2B companies, but I think the spot where I'm gonna win the most is I think I'll actually enjoy more is the SaaS to like a, not like a tech to tech kind of thing, but like still business to business, but like, hey, I'm selling to construction workers, so I'm not, it may not be like a tech company to a tech company, but like something that's more, something that involves more of my day to day. I mean, ideally if I could do like a SaaS and gyms, that'd be great. But anyway, long story short is I just understand the level of investment of work-wise I need to have set up between each interview is way higher than fucking what I had to do before, which is good. I just have a new standard of like what it's going to take, which is okay. But now I get to see how like all the ones I was doing in the past, like I thought they did pretty good, and I was like, no, like, bro, when you're when you're talking to someone who actually works in the shit, you have to have the terms down and like not be stuttering. Like this is like my name is Dom, and they're like, yeah, you know, mitochondria is the powerhouse of a cell, and you got to be like on that the whole time, and then sell, and that's how you're gonna get the job. But really great, you know, I've had just between the amount of interviews that I've done, I've seen so many different industries and so many different models. So, I mean, just through this process, a lot of fucking learning, you know, very excited, thankful for the offer that I have already and for whatever offers that are coming forward. We'll be signing something this month. So, you know, depending on my interview goes next week, there's a company gonna scoop me up. But yeah, you know, documenting my journey and career, because your boy got to get some money. You know, we got the other saga of things, but take one step at a time and get there day by day.